I fell in love with the place. I was just up here and I kept looking in the windows before it even opened up, and I says, what's happening in here? What's happening in here? And when somebody said it was a coffee shop with art, I says, well, I gotta go.
So the Roost Latonia is a place where you can find a cup of something, whether it's comfort, if it's coffee, if it's art. You know, you can come in here and find respite.
This coffee shop has an eclectic, curated yard sale vibe that showcases a wide range of artists, creative mediums, along with food and drink from all across the Tri-State. And the Roost is addressing Latonia's need for a gathering space and has a goal of becoming more of a regional destination as Latonia's streetscape evolves. It's becoming a bit of a community project, so when you enter the coop, it's easy to make yourself feel at home.
I think our favorite compliments are, it's like walking into your favorite relative's house, you know, where it feels like you're getting 1,000 hugs from grandma in here, or, you know, it's a place where, I mean, we have a lot of celebrations and we have a lot of tragedies here. We see people doing birthdays and we've seen people do job portfolios here. And so it's kind of, you know, when life was hectic and this whole chaotic last year and some this year, I think that we offered, you know, I said earlier, a respite. And so they could come here and they could just be and be present and not have to be perfect. And I think there's a grace here, and I think there's second chances here.
There's also art classes and workshops there too. From ink to drink, to painting, to learning how to make a barn square, the Roost is a creative community outlet that thrives on connection.
Billy is an incredible host. I had no idea when I came here with all our friends and that it was like going into somebody's house. And then she's serving drinks and serving a little cheese and crackers, and just making you feel at home, making sure you're fine, and we all had a great time.
I think coffee is comfort, you know, and I think that it can bring people together. It can also be the best part of your day, and it can be something to where it's like a handover, you know, or a connection. And so with that, coffee has been here, but also this place is like a connection.
And Allie is here now to tell us more. Allie, it looks really great there, like something that's right up my alley. So how did they decide to choose, you know, to go in that direction that they did?
Yeah, so what's great about this is they really made it a community project. And believe it or not, the effects of the pandemic kind of pushed them in that direction a little bit, because there was always this vision of, you know, making this coffee shop the pulse of the community. And I know coffee shops in general tend to be the pulse of the community, right? Because you have so many different people coming in and collaborating and talking about ideas, and et cetera, et cetera. So when they were building this space, they had the vision of a warm, home-friendly vibe, but because of the pandemic, that kind of pushed them back a little bit. It allowed them to open up that conversation even more and bring in the new ideas as to collaborating with artists and just building out the creative walls and the different types of food and drink. So it really became a collaborative effort, and which ended up really benefiting them. And they wanted to kind of look into the Latonia history too, and give the history of Latonia a head nod and a representation in that space. And even at the wall, or the wood on the wall, is actually wood from Billy's family's ranch in Oklahoma. So that's kind of a nice foundation of hospitality, so you could say. And there's a lot of repurposed material in there, and that was very conscious on their part. They wanted to dive more into the recycled world and really bring in the community in every shape or fashion, from, like I said, the art to the food to the drink.
So Allie, briefly, you touched on the future of the Roost. What does that future look like as far as you can tell?
So what's great is there's actually an event planner and a calendar online. So that whole block, what's wonderful is they're really building out a lot of new businesses. A lot of them are actually female and women owned, which is very cool. And the street is very walkable, but they have a long street in the back of the coffee shop where they do markets every week on the weekends, which is really, really great. And that space at the Roost itself is available to rent for events. So if you want to do some sort of an event space, just reach out via their Instagram or their Facebook, and they're very active in that sense, and you'll be able to talk to Billy directly to book it. So the future is just to bring more people in and really to look at Latonia as a whole community, because these new businesses are evolving, and these buildings, they're keeping the structure of the buildings and they're renovating it and they're bringing back the history.
I am so happy for Latonia. I think great job that they're doing there, and great job you always do for us, Allie, bringing us the stories. Thank you so much.